Birth rates are dropping, marriage ages are climbing, and more than half of Americans aged 18 to 24 are still living in their childhood bedrooms, the highest rate seen in decades. Many attribute this shift to a lack of ambition, suggesting that millennials and Generation Z are squandering their paychecks on lifestyle comforts rather than assuming the responsibilities of adulthood. However, these demographic delays are the result of a structural squeeze driven by two macroeconomic forces that have altered the historical pathway to middle-class stability. Reaching traditional milestones now requires navigating a different economic equation, one that often forces a direct choice between owning a home and raising a family. This graph tracks the widening gap between wages and real estate. Since the year 2000, median per capita incomes in the U.S. have grown by 155%, while median home prices climbed by 207%. This divergence is captured in the house price-to-income ratio. In most U.S. counties, home values have moved so far beyond earning power that standard mortgages have become mathematically unreachable for median earners. This pricing surge is rooted in supply. Rigid local zoning laws and land use regulations mean cities have not constructed enough housing units to match the actual market demand. As a result, housing has transitioned from a standard consumer purchase into a structural wealth barrier that effectively locks out new participants. The generational disparity is most visible at age 30. Historically, 49% of non-college educated baby boomers owned their homes at that age. Today, for similarly educated millennials, that rate has dropped to 24%. Even for college graduates, who often match or exceed the inflation-adjusted wages of their parents, the home ownership gap remains. Higher earning potential has not been enough to overcome the rapid increase in entry costs. This is partly because young professionals enter the market carrying record levels of student debt. These monthly obligations prevent high earners from amassing the liquid cash required for modern down payments. Without pre-existing equity to trade in, younger adults are frequently stuck in a cycle of rising rents, which prevents them from starting the traditional process of wealth accumulation. These housing pressures coincide with the skyrocketing costs of starting a family. Current projections suggest that raising a single middle-class child to age 17 now costs over $310,000. Affording a home in this market typically requires 2 full-time salaries, yet that dual income is immediately leveraged against the high cost of external childcare. Childcare is now one of the largest single drains on a household budget. Center-based infant care averages more than $10,000 a year per child, a figure that consistently outpaces general inflation. At the same time, cultural standards for parenting have intensified. Despite working more hours outside the house, modern parents spend significantly more time on direct childcare than generations did in the past. Parents are increasingly exhausted by this model, working longer hours to service housing and daycare debts while facing social pressure to increase their physical parenting time. Roughly 25% of young adults now state they do not want children, citing financial and lifestyle pressures that feel insurmountable. This chart shows the national investment in early childhood care as a percentage of GDP. While other advanced economies average 0.75%, the United States invests only 0.33%, leaving individual families to shoulder the cost. Without a systemic safety net, the decision for many young Americans is no longer when to buy a house and have kids, but which of the two they can realistically afford. The structural costs of a basic life have shifted so far that traditional milestones are being priced like luxury goods.